Hello, everybody. My name is Dejan, and today I wanted to talk to you about trying to understand one another. I know that either you or you've heard somebody say that no one understands them, and you hear people complaining about how they want people to understand them, and how we talk about how we want to understand one another. And I just wanted to say that trying to understand another human is extremely hard, damn near impossible. But I wanted to bring my thoughts about the topic and a suggestion to make the process a bit easier because I don't know if it would solve it completely, but I think that this would make it a hell of a lot easier to bear and deal with instead of what we typically do. So the reason why the reason why it is very hard to understand one another is because we all take in information differently. We walked different paths of lives. Like for example, I'm 29. I've walked a certain path in my life for 29 years. I've done certain things. I've reacted to certain things a certain way. I've done everything completely different than what somebody else might have done. So when it comes to understanding one another, or when it comes to me trying to understand somebody, it would be extremely hard because what we tend to do is come back to our point of reference to compare and to, well, I wouldn't do that, but that's obvious. You're not them. You wouldn't do that. So I think uh, that's why we tend to hear a lot of, oh, I don't understand you, I don't understand why you did that, that doesn't make any sense, stuff like that. I know we've all probably heard things like that when either we've said it or we've heard people say it to us, and I believe that's because when trying to understand people, we usually come back to our point of reference. And when we do that is extremely hard and taxing on one another, especially when the other person really wants to understand you or you want to understand the other person. And my suggestion to that is that I believe that we need to be a little bit more willing, and we need to understand that it is hard to understand one another. um, like I said, no one's the same. We all walk different lives. We all take in information differently. So someone might say something to me and I might not care. And then someone could say the exact same thing to somebody else and they go completely off. They're cussing them out. They're started a whole scene. And then you would look and be like, well, I don't understand why you did that. Well, yes, you wouldn't understand why you did that because you're not them. So I think a way to make the process easier to understand one another is that I think we need to understand that understanding one another is hard. I think we need to also be willing to understand one another because a lot of the times because we do that, oh, that doesn't make sense, I don't understand why you would do that, we don't even open an opportunity to even let the idea of trying to understand another person even come into play. And so I think we need to be willing to attempt to try to understand. And I think we need, when we are doing that, I think we need to bring in compassion and love instead of referring back to our reference. I also believe that we need to, when trying to understand someone, I think that we need to take our point of reference out of the equation, because if we keep coming back to our point of reference, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be extremely hard. Both people are going to become upset. No one understands you now. You feel like you'll never be understood, that you are this thing that just can't be understood. And I mean, in a sense, it is correct. It's very hard to understand one another. Like I said in the beginning, we all walk different parts of life. We all take in information differently. So take out your point of reference when trying to understand somebody. And I think that the people who are trying to understand somebody right now, who are like going out of their way to try, I think those people need to be appreciated a little bit more, and we need to cut them some slack. It's hard. It is extremely hard to try to understand one another. And I know a lot of people want to be understood. So when someone's trying to get to know you, get to know why the things, get to know why you do certain things, why you say certain things, why you dress a certain way, why you act a certain way, cut them some slack. Be understanding that it's hard for them to do what they're trying to do. And then, meet them in the middle with some compassion and love, and be willing to, take your time, and, be as clear as possible when, having to describe yourself and explain and talk about why you did the things that you did. And I think with all of those, the process of trying to understand one another will be so much easier than what it is now. So I wanted to have a short video today. If you liked what you heard, like, comment, subscribe, comment your experiences with trying to understand other people. We can talk about it, and share this video if you think somebody else needs to hear this. But until the next video, peace, and I love you guys.